welcome back to First News Forum. Charlie Haldeman along with State Senator Jay Paul Gumm. We off camera talking a little bit about the priorities of the state legislature and the state senate, and one of those energy. T. Boone Pickens, the Pickens plan, like you said, all over the television, and he's making the rounds, if you will, about his plan, and that is to build wind farms,
right, and
convert cars and vehicles to natural gas, and to basically cut off oil at the pass, which I was going to say that's be a blessing and a curse for the state of Oklahoma. But the blessing therein is in the natural gas and plenty of wind, but the curse is there's plenty of oil as well.
Well, not so much in Oklahoma. Right now, our energy industry is being held afloat by natural gas, and we very fortunate in Oklahoma right now. We have more natural gas reserves than at any time in Oklahoma's history because of the new ability to find natural gas, the new ability to extract natural gas. So this would make an enormous amount of sense for Oklahoma. The challenge is going to be, the first challenge is there's not nearly enough compressed natural gas fuel stations to make it feasible for people to go ahead and convert.
Right.
So we have to get the fuel stations in place. Then we talk about converting people's cars to natural gas, which is cheaper right now, which burns cleaner than gasoline, and oh, by the way, doesn't come from countries who want to destroy us. So,
yes.
So all the above is a pretty good thing for Oklahoma. So we're going to be looking very early in the session about trying to find ways to encourage companies to put CNG fill stations in place and to add CNG as one of the options in regular gasoline stations. I've already got a bill that I'm working on to provide incentives for companies who want to do that, and then we can talk about incentives for people to convert their cars over, which there already is one in law in Oklahoma. It was set to expire next year. We passed a bill this last year to extend it out a year, which was my bill, for those who want to buy the equipment to have clean burning conversions for their vehicles, and CNG is part of that. So we've already taken some steps there, but with T. Boone spending $58 million to talk about this, the public support is beginning to ratchet up. I'm getting emails and letters almost on a daily basis from my constituents saying this is something we need to look at and we need to do. And of course, Mr. Pickens came to McAllister, had a huge town hall meeting where he talked about this, and what he's saying makes some sense. And of course, you also hear the concerns, well, he's in this to make a buck. Well, somebody's going to make a buck.
He's not afraid to say that out loud either.
Certainly.
That he has a vested interest in it because
Absolutely.
of his holdings.
Absolutely. And we in Oklahoma have a vested interest as well. If you look at what's been going on with natural gas across a lot of my district, there has been new wealth and new dollars dropped into my district because of the Woodford Shale play, which will remake our economy, already in the process of remaking our economy. Cole County, for example, most of which is in my district, was hammered hard 2 weeks before I was elected with the closure of the Wrangler plant. They began recovery pretty quickly on that because they worked hard, they got their sales tax revenues back up, people staying close to home, and then the Woodford Shale play began to be discovered, and more people are getting money from royalties from that natural gas, and that money is being churned around in the economy. There's more gross production tax going into the county for roads. That's booming the economy in Cole County, and it's something that we're very, very fortunate and blessed to have, and we should make the most of while this play plays.
As far as the compressed natural gas stations, is that the only downside to that plan that you can see? Are there other downsides?
Well, eventually you're going to run out of CNG, but we have in the United States about a 60-year supply of CNG. That's a pretty good supply, and it gives us time for the technology for electric or what other kind of technology that may come along in 60 years to catch up with that. So CNG is a good bridge to get us there, and it's also going to be great for the Oklahoma economy as well.
What about the wind farms, the wind energy that's being pushed? I know Pickens has gone to these town hall meetings, at least in West Texas. He said, right, I will pay you to put this windmill on your property. It's ugly as sin, but I will, you'll get a check once a month, and you'll have a windmill blowing around in your back 40. what about that? I mean, was that going to play well, or are you getting any emails on that?
Really not. And it'll play well in some places, and there'll be some folks who don't want to see those doggone things in my backyard. But if you look at that corridor of wind, it starts about Sweetwater, Texas, and goes north right through most of western Oklahoma. And there's already a number of wind farms in western Oklahoma. So we're not unfamiliar with the technology. We're not unfamiliar with that being a part of our Oklahoma landscape. So it makes sense to use that. There was a time when people didn't like oil wells in their backyard either, but if anybody finds oil or gas in my backyard, come on down. You can start drilling tomorrow.
They got over that pretty quick.
Right.
Gas prices in the whole. I mean, Hurricane Ike obviously a very big play in the price of gasoline, not so much oil. As you saw oil go down and gas go up here recently.
Surely.
How does that play in Oklahoma, or at least in your district, compared to other parts? We've heard, Ardmore had the highest gas prices in the state. Whether that's true or not, I actually don't know. But it seems that you have a refinery in that part of the country.
Right.
Gas isn't exactly cheap there, though. Is that a big deal in your district? I guess what I'm getting at is how will this plan lower gas prices? Do you think it will do that because of the demand?
Absolutely. The gas prices are being driven by supply and demand. As the supplies go up, if demand goes down, prices go down. If supply goes down, demand goes up, prices go up. If you have an alternative energy source like CNG out there and people are converting to it, the demand on gasoline is going to go down and the price will go down. Conversely, depending on how many fill stations you get and what kind of processing you have in place for the CNG, that price may go up. I mean, it's all about economics and supply and demand, those basic concepts we learned in high school.
Right.
But it puts another card in the hand that we've been dealt for energy. And the more cards we have, the more options we have, the more affordable in the long term it will be. And again, I like being in a state with a lot of natural gas under our feet so that we can get some of the wealth off of finding that and tapping those reserves.
All right. Jay Paul Gumm, we're going to talk more politics here on the other side of the break. You're watching First News Forum on Channel 12. Be right back.